Okay, there's still some light to it. The irony. Good morning. There we go. I am in my zone. I like subtle light first thing in the morning. Yeah, I like it in increasing measure in the morning, kind of to mimic the sun rising. I like seeing the glow of the sunrise coming through my curtains and windows before the intensity of the daylight. And it's funny because the topic of my live is about considering what people perceive as darkness and what darkness brings for them. So, for some people that are out there, I am like a flashlight. I come in and I shine light all over the place. And they appreciate it, they celebrate it. And some people even scoff it. I've got one little picky teenager that, and I say that because he describes and identifies as such. Let's allow that space. We'll get to that at the end of the video. But the key is that, for some people, what is lightness for you is agitation and offsetting to them. And so I posted yesterday after seeing or sharing in, we'll say sharing in, because I absolutely love Angela Montana and her prayer work. It's beautiful. It really calls in for me to take my contemplation and my prayers to a higher level. It drives me to be able to really reflect personally in my own experience. And I think that's something that for a lot of people nowadays, to have a conversation without them referring to the entire global mass of populace is really challenging. It's difficult to get them to share personally from an I standpoint, from a myself standpoint, from individualized viewpoint and experience is really challenging. A lot of the wording is we. It's generalized. It takes ownership of something outside of their experience, their personal experience. And so I refer to people's individual and personal experience through their own perspective and perceptions to be their personal mastery. So I just wanted to clarify that speech. I can't know what it's like exactly from your viewpoint into and of the world, because how you receive the stimulus is completely different than how I am. And I celebrate that, because in you sharing with me your viewpoint and your perspective on how you see, perceive, and receive the world around you, my viewpoint can be enhanced and expanded. And so this is why I love sharing with others in their experiences, them telling and sharing with me their experiences. I had a coffee date yesterday with a dear friend, and she has traveled so many beautiful places. And coming up, we are collaborating very soon to do an excursion across the pond, as it's said. So stay tuned for that. More will be coming out on that in the next week because it has to. It's going to be a beautiful experience. Some have already been privy to what's to come, so just letting you know, a little retreats in the works. It's coming forward and into fruition, but I really want for people to grasp their own wonder and mastery within their own personal life and experience. This is a huge passion for me. It's really huge because it creates such a stumbling block when people are not able to be in and of their own space and their own experience. How I see the color of the flooring underneath me is different from everyone that is around me, unless we can make references to something in our environment that we perceive that it looks similar to. But we have to share that experience of relating one thing to another to be able to see that. So, yes, the lighting's a little low. I'm sharing with you my good morning space, my good morning vibe, and it's in the edge of darkness. So the reason why I bring this up is because one of the comments that was pointed out to me, and it's not that I was necessarily stumbling with it, but I really wanted to get to the heart behind, like the viewpoint behind what someone was sharing in the comments yesterday about how evil or devil, or however you want to perceive Satan, is perceived as darkness. And for me, I am not one of those people that uses that as a reference. I do not use the unknown spaces or spaces with dim lighting or a lack of light as a reference to evil or something not good or a negative. And I understand that there are people that use that reference, and that's how they feel in that space. And I think that's a key to really help people to, I don't want to say put their feelings into categories, because they're already doing that. But shuffle the folders. Why does it have to be considered as darkness? And the reason why I say this, I love sleep. I find it funny that I'm also a sleep coach. I find it funny that I love sleep more than eating and other stuff that is highly pleasurable. And for a big bulk, a chunk in my life, there was a point at which I was not getting any sleep. It was when my kids were born. One who, there was a bit of sleep towards, no. He had a similar sleep pattern to myself, so that was good. But he was, he would get mad at himself for falling asleep, for missing out. He had such high FOMO as a baby that when he slept and he woke up, he got angry because he fell asleep. He wasn't aware. He wasn't up and in the moment. And I loved that experience. I loved it for what I was learning. I didn't love it for the lack of sleep. But I knew I was being brought to a new space, so I had to accept that I needed to reframe what sleep was for me. And really, I loved my experience of it, the nuzzling in, the shifting in my brain waves, the little point just before I go to sleep, and thoughts and insights would come to me, which was really painful because those are points where you want to write those down, but just slipping into dream, just being comfortable and knowing that my body is getting what it needs. I like complete darkness. For me, it represents comfort. It represents a space of restoration, recovery. And then as the light advances in the morning, then that space is where, again, as I went in, so I'm coming out with the insights, and I'm infused with energy because the first thing I'm getting is those insights. And I'm filled with gratitude, and that gratitude just gives me such a supercharge. And then I can go out into my day. I really feel like the space from which, I guess, sleep or darkness for me sits, I get a feeling of being able to learn, to being restored, to seeing myself without light, if that makes sense. Like I get to look within. So in certain Eastern traditions, that's referred to as the yin space. And yang is like how I was describing the onset of the day, where it's coming with insight, energy, creation, action, go get it. It has that driving force behind it to go out and create from. And it reminds me, again, we're coming into gardening season. So the soil in which a seed is planted is referred to as the space of darkness, right? But it's also that nurturing space, like how I was describing my sleep. And from that, knowing that the light is out there, coaxing the seed to open up and to receive nourishment and the abundance for it to grow. It's when you look at life from this kind of perspective, and I'm not saying it's for everyone, this is the perspective from which I see, then you get to share in that wonder, the possibilities that rest in unknown spaces, which for a lot of people causes a lot of anxiety. Trying to consider the future, consider possibility, it seems like a lot to take on. And in that is because of this perspective and the worldview from which they're operating at. And how big of a bite they're trying to take out of life at one time, or at a time. If you take a little bit and savor, and another little bit and savor, and allow yourself to chew and to digest, life comes at you in a different way than it does if it's more like the fire hose blaring into your face. So I wasn't going to go into the whole managing of abundance aspect, but yeah, it's it's different when you're looking at it from yin yang as kind of this constant flow like day and night that is a part of our cycle. And I'll say as opposed to, which is kind of funny when you consider, because it's the whole polarity thing, the levels of perspective from which we operate. So this comes back to the bound nature, free nature point that I made in the title. The free nature is more of the explorative, the awe, the wonder, the childlikeness, the playfulness, the freeness, the feeling of the warmth of sunlight on your face. It's that deep breath of fresh air in your chest. It's that feeling of the best hug from a dear friend. It's that open-hearted, just, and again, right? I'm describing this, and it depends on how people see or receive these words. I know how it feels for me, and so I'm trying to put into words the feeling that I'm experiencing. And then we'll say the other side of it is the more, I want to say fleshy side, which is the bound nature, where we feel our limitations. We feel, things can be weak, things can be challenging, strife, struggle, lies, right? So I was calling out narratives. I was calling out the lies that we can hear and to personify it, right? And to personify the bound nature and putting it outside of where our free nature is, right? So a lot of our bound nature experience comes from external forces, quote unquote. It's still stimulus, but a lot of it's coming from influences that taught us to perceive in such a way. Some of us may have just perceived in the way that we perceive, and that is how we take in the world. But is it helping you to have that feeling of freeness? Is it helping you to have that joy and wonder and depth of love and just a smile on your face, acceptance and contentment? Does it feel kind, or does it feel like it's infringing on you, hindering you, ensnaring you? And looking at that aspect of statements, stories that we tell ourselves, ways that we define even the mass of the universe and I'll say the expansiveness of creation. How do we view that? How does it look to us? Does it feel supportive, or does it feel like it's been distorted? Do we feel like we're fighting against it? Do we always feel that we have to be ready for a fight? All these things are things that I vet against how I wake up in the morning, how I wake up from my comforted, warm, peaceful slumber that opens me up into my day with energy and insight. And if something's not supporting that to continue through my day, I question, is there something I need to learn in this? Is this something I even need to engage in? Is this mine? That's a big one. So just taking a time to share the conversation that I have with myself on a morning basis. This is kind of the mental space that I write from. I create from, I start my day from. Um, and I really wanted to share that with you. I wanted to really embrace the good mawning side. And mawning meaning awakening, awareness, expansion. Like it's an eye opener, literally. And I really want to share my morning experience with you. So I hope you really enjoyed all of what I shared. Um, and yeah, please leave comments below. Apparently, I've got the star feature now um, that people can leave as well. So that's intriguing, and I'm going to accept and receive it. And so, if you want to share stars, if you like the video, I appreciate it. I'm not sure. I haven't participated in the star part, so this is a first for me. But I hope you all have a great, sunny, bright day. Even if it's not, I hope you have a good one. Take care.